Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different. I want to start with a sensory exercise.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes. Seriously, unless you're driving, just close them for a second.
I'm doing it.
Okay. I wanted to picture the color turquoise, not just any blue. I'm talking about that hypersaturated, glass-clear water you see on your phone screen when you're doom scrolling at like 11 p.m. on a Tuesday.
I can see it.
You see the limestone cliffs. You see the terracotta roofs glowing in the sunset.
Yeah.
You're thinking about an Aperol Spritz that costs, I don't know, €4. You're thinking about Croatia.
It's the Mediterranean fantasy. It's the new Italy, right?
Exactly.
That's the pitch we've been sold for the last 10 years.
Italy on a budget. The Balkans, but make it chic. But, and this is a massive but that we are going to spend the next hour unpacking. If you book that ticket today, thinking you're getting the Croatia of 2015 or even 2019, you are walking into a buzzsaw.
A financial and logistical buzzsaw. A very sharp one.
We have a huge stack of research on the desk today. Articles, traveler reports, economic data that suggest the budget Croatian narrative isn't just outdated, it's dead.
It's completely dead. We're looking at a destination that has undergone what, the economists call a structural price shift.
Right.
And what tourists call, wait, why is my burger €20?
Exactly that. Why am I paying Zurich prices right now?
We're calling this deep dive the Adriatic Odyssey. And the data we have is it's fascinating because it shows a country caught in a really violent transition. It's trying to be Monaco on pricing.
Yeah.
But it's still operating largely on, let's be honest, Balkan infrastructure. And that gap, that's where all your vacation stress comes from.
So today we are going to audit your vacation. We're going to look at the 3 big shocks that hit first-time visitors. The disappearance of cash, the myth of the sandy beach, and the new, like you said, Swiss-level pricing.
Yep.
We're going to figure out if the soul of the place, that authentic, slow-paced Mediterranean life, can survive the wallet reality.
And while you're looking for the soul, I'm going to be the buzzkill looking at the spreadsheets.
Someone has to.
Someone has to. Because the sources are very, very clear. If you don't book your ferry tickets weeks in advance, you are literally swimming to the next island.
Wow.
This isn't a place where you just wing it anymore. That era is gone.
I love that framing. Soul versus wallet. Because on one hand, I'm looking for the soul. I want to know if you can still find that authentic fishing village where, old men are playing cards and the wine is cheap.
Right.
Or is the whole coast just a backdrop for influencers now?
That is the $1 million question. Or I guess now the €1 million question.
Right. Let's get into the specifics then. We have 3 big surprises from the research that we need to put on the table right away.
Okay, let's do it.
First, let's talk about the beach situation. Because when I think beach vacation, I think sand. I think building castles.
Well, just delete that image from your mind.
Okay.
Surprise number 1, no sand. It's rocks.
Like pebbles or...
No. Sharp, jagged limestone rocks. Or, if you're lucky, pebbles the size of your fist. But mostly rocks.
So if I just flop down on a towel without checking, I'm gonna bruise a rib.
You will 100% bruise a rib, and then you'll probably get impaled by a sea urchin. We'll get to the gear later, but soft is not a word used to describe the Croatian coast.
Okay, that's a good warning. Surprise number 2. And this was a shocker for me, given we were talking about the EU. Cash is king. I thought we were tapping our phones everywhere. Apple Pay, everything.
It's not just king, it's practically a religion. Despite being in the Schengen zone and the EU, if you don't have a stack of euros in your pocket, you are going to struggle.
Really? Even in the main cities?
Oh, yeah. Small cafes, ice cream stands, even some private accommodation, they want cash. It's a cultural thing as much as it is, a tax thing.
Right. Okay, and the third one, which might hurt our caffeine-addicted listeners.
This one's important.
The coffee culture.
Yeah.
It is slow.
Incredibly slow. If you are looking for a grab-and-go latte or a Starbucks, you are in the wrong country.
So no venti iced macchiato to take to the ferry.
Absolutely not. Coffee there is a ritual, not a fuel stop. It is designed to take an hour.
An hour.
At least.
So our mission for this deep dive is pretty simple. We want to help you navigate the friction of modern Croatian travel.
Right.
We are going to cover the budget bands. What does a beer actually cost? The transport traps that catch everyone out. And by the end of this hour, we'll have a verdict for every type of traveler.
From broke backpacker to yacht week millionaire.
Exactly. Whether you should go.
And just to set the analytical tone here, we
Mhm.
need to understand that Croatia is currently a destination that is priced like Switzerland,
Right.
but it is still operating largely on infrastructure that hasn't changed much since the 90s. That is the core conflict we're going to explore.
Okay, let's unpack that priced like Switzerland comment, because that feels like hyperbole. I mean, surely it's not that expensive.
It feels hyperbolic until you look at the receipts. And to understand why, we have to look at what we're calling the post-Euro hangover.
Okay.
You have to remember, for decades, Croatia was the budget alternative. If you couldn't afford the French Riviera or the Amalfi Coast, you went to Dalmatia.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, slightly rough around the edges, and cheap.
Right. I remember friends going 10, 15 years ago and living like kings on $50 a day.
Exactly.
They'll come back with stories of like 20-cent beers and stuff.
That era is dead. Put a tombstone on it. The recent shift is that Croatia joined the Eurozone and the Schengen area. That happened on January 1st, 2023.
Which seems like a good thing on the surface. Easier travel.
It's great for political integration, for sure. But for the traveler, it resulted in a massive price correction.
But switching currency shouldn't automatically double prices, right?
Mhm.
That's not how economics works.
Theoretically, no. In an ideal world, no. But in practice, we saw this phenomenon called rounding up, but on steroids. So when the local baker swapped his prices from the old currency, the kuna, to the euro, he didn't do a direct conversion. If a loaf of bread was 7 kuna, which is about 93 cents, he didn't price it at 93 euro cents.
He priced it at €1.
He priced it at 1.50 euro, or 2 euro.
That's a 50% jump overnight, just because the currency symbol changed.
Exactly. And this happened across the entire supply chain. Coffee, fuel, labor costs, everything. Then you layer on the global post-COVID inflation.
Right. Yeah.
And you add the fact that demand for Croatia is at an all-time high thanks to, Instagram and Game of Thrones.
Right.
It created a perfect storm. We crunched the numbers from the source material, and prices on accommodation and food in tourist hubs have jumped anywhere from 20 to 50% in just the last 3 years.
50%. That is astronomical. That completely changes the entire value proposition of the trip.
It does, and it's not just inflation, it's a structural pricing shift. Croatia has decided it is a luxury destination now.
But here is the problem, right? The social media hype cycle hasn't adjusted to this economic reality. You scroll through TikTok or Instagram, and you see these dreamy, empty streets in Dubrovnik at golden hour.
The empty streets lie.
Yes, the empty streets lie. I see this all the time.
Right.
Just a girl in a sundress twirling in an empty medieval square.
Precisely. The source points out that the influencer who took that video woke up at 4:30 a.m. to get that shot.
Of course they did.
They are selling you a vision of solitude. But the reality of high season, we're talking July and August, is defined by what one writer called logistical friction.
I like that term, logistical friction. It sounds painful. What does it actually look like on the ground?
It looks like sweat and crowds and stress. You have to look at the infrastructure versus the demand.
Okay.
You have these ancient old towns split, Dubrovnik, Ishvar. These places were built for donkeys, carts, and a few hundred local residents.
Right, for a medieval population.
Exactly. Now, they are trying to process 10,000 cruise ship passengers a day. The physical space literally cannot handle the volume.
The source material had this great warning about the luggage reality. I think this is something people totally forget. You pack that massive rolling suitcase because you're going to Europe for 2 weeks.
I need your outfits.
You want your outfits.
Yeah.
And that is your first mistake.
It's a huge mistake. If you bring a massive rolling suitcase to Dubrovnik, Old Town, you are going to break a wheel or you are going to break your back.
Why?
It is nothing but stairs. Steep, slippery stone stairs. There are no ramps. There are no elevators in the old buildings. You see people literally trying to carry these things on their shoulders.
So you're dragging 50 pounds of luggage up 4 flights of medieval stairs in 90-degree heat.
Correct. While 1,000 people try to squeeze past you on a staircase that's, 3 feet wide.
So the takeaway right off the bat is,
Yeah.
This is not a relax and do nothing trip. This is not a fly and flop vacation.
Not unless you are on a private boat. That's the exception to everything. If you are doing the land-based island hopping route, it requires active participation.
It's a sport.
It's an active sport. You are managing logistics, you are hauling gear, and you are navigating crowds.
Okay, let's get into the sensory experience. Let's say we've committed, we've bought the ticket, we know about the luggage, we are landing in Croatia. What does that actually look like?
Well, first, let's talk about how you land. because a lot of people mess this up during the booking phase.
Oh, interesting.
The expert advice here is very specific about flight strategy. You want to book an open jaw ticket.
Break that down for us, because usually I just click round trip on Skyscanner or whatever.
And that's the trap. Open jaw or multi-city on the booking sites means you fly into one city and out of another.
Okay.
Specifically, you want to fly into Split and fly out of Dubrovnik, or vice versa. The key is, do not loop back.
Why? Is the drive bad? It looks beautiful on a map.
The coastal drive is beautiful, but it is incredibly slow. It's a 2-lane road that winds along the cliffs. A 4-hour drive on paper can take 6 hours with traffic. And the ferries are mostly designed as one-way flows for tourists moving south. If you try to loop back to Split at the end of your trip just to catch a flight, you are wasting 5 to 6 hours of your vacation on a bus or a ferry.
The whole day.
It's an efficiency killer. You're paying for a day of travel just to get back to where you started.
Okay, so we fly into Split. The sources describe the sensory hit of landing there. It's not like landing in Frankfurt or London where it's just, air-conditioned grayness.
No, it hits you the moment the plane doors open. The smell.
The smell.
Yeah, it's the specific mix of pine needles, salt, and diesel fuel from the boats. It's very distinctive. And the heat. It's not humid. It's a dry, baking heat. You feel the sun immediately.
And then you have to get to the city. The airport isn't in town.
Right, it's about 30 minutes out. The airport bus is mentioned as a rare win in the logistics column.
A win. I'll take it.
It's cheap, it's reliable, but it drops you off at the port of Split, and that is where the chaos begins.
Describe the scene.
Imagine ferries loading cars, thousands of tourists dragging those rolling bags we warned you about, and touts trying to sell you boat tours to the Blue Cave. It's intense.
But then you walk into Diocletian's palace, and this is where the soul part comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because this isn't a museum.
No, and that's what makes Split so unique. It's a living city built inside the ruins of a Roman emperor's retirement home.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. You walk through these 1,700-year-old arches, and you look up, and there's someone's laundry drying on a line strung between Roman columns.
No way!
Yes, people live there. It's gritty and majestic at the same time. You can smell cooking. You can hear TVs playing from the windows. It's alive.
But then the wall reality hits you again. The source mentions the menu shack on the Riva Promenade.
Oh, the Riva. It's the main waterfront. It's beautiful, lined with palm trees, but it's a financial trap. The host in our source material talks about sitting down and seeing a beer for €7 and a burger for €18.
18 euros for a burger. In the Balkans. I mean, I expect that in Paris or Zurich.
Exactly. That was a moment of realization. We aren't in the Balkans anymore, Toto.
Wow.
You are paying Western European capital city prices, and usually the quality on the Riva doesn't match the price. You're paying for the view.
But amidst that price shock,
Yeah.
there is this cultural concept that the sources highlight, the fjaka.
Ah, fjaka.
Can you explain that? Because it sounds like something I need in my life, especially after seeing an 18-euro burger.
The fjaka is the Dalmatian state of mind. It's often translated as laziness, but that's totally wrong. It's the psychophysical state of aspiring to nothing.
Aspiring to nothing.
The art of doing absolutely nothing and feeling zero guilt about it. It's staring at the sea for 3 hours with one coffee.
That sounds incredible. But there's a contrast, isn't there? You have this shaka, vibe, relax, take it slow clashing with the stress of the modern tourist experience.
A huge contrast. You're trying to channel fjaka, but you're also trying to check into your Airbnb in the Old Town. And remember, Old Town means charm, but it also means the 4th floor, no elevator, and a staircase that is barely wider than your shoulders.
So you're sweating, dragging bags, stressed out.
All while surrounded by locals who have mastered the art of doing nothing. They're just sipping their coffee watching you suffer.
It's almost like the country is taunting you. Look how relaxed we are while you panic about your ferry connection.
Exactly. And speaking of panic, let's talk about the coffee. This ties directly into Xhaka. If you go to a cafe in Split and ask for a coffee to go,
Uh-oh.
they will look at you like you just insulted their mother.
Really? No paper cups?
Very, very rare. Coffee is a sit-down affair. You get a tiny cup, glass of water, and you sit for an hour. The waiter won't bring you the check until you ask for it, because rushing you would be rude.
Wow.
It's a complete clash with American efficiency culture.
I love that, though. Forced relaxation. But let's get serious about the money. We've hinted at it, but we need to do a financial deep dive. We need to talk numbers.
Let's do it.
Because if I'm planning a trip, I need to know if I can afford it.
Let's get the spreadsheet out. We are looking at a standard 7-day itinerary. Split, Hvar, Korčula, Dubrovnik. This is the golden path most people take.
Okay, let's start with where we sleep. Accommodation tiers in July or August. What are we looking at?
If you want to be near the action or the water, prepare yourself. The budget tier hostels are charging 40 to 60 euros
For a room.
for a bunk. A single bed in a dormitory with 6 other snoring strangers.
Wow. Okay, that is steep. I remember when hostel beds were 15 euros. Yeah, okay, what about mid-range? A couple wanting a private room.
You're looking at private apartments or sobs, which are basically rooms in a local's house.
Okay.
Those are running 120 to 180 euros a night. And you have to be careful here. Sometimes soba just means a bedroom and a bathroom, no kitchen.
And the high end, if you want a proper hotel.
Hotels start at 350 euros and go up infinitely from there. The luxury hotel market in Dubrovnik is comparable to London or New York. 500, 800, 1,000 euros a night is not uncommon.
So the days of the 40-euro apartment by the sea are gone.
Long, long gone. Maybe in November, but not in summer.
Let's talk about food, because you have to eat. What's the food economy like?
It's polarized. On the low end, you have survival mode.
I like that.
This means living on pakara, the bakeries. Every town has them. You can get a burek, which is this greasy, delicious phyllo dough pie filled with meat or cheese for 3 or 4 euros.
I've heard about burek. It's legendary.
It is. It's heavy. It keeps you full for hours. If you do that for breakfast and lunch and maybe grab some supermarket ham and cheese for dinner, you can survive on 25 euros a day.
That's the backpacker route. What about the mid-range reality? If I want to sit down at a nice terrace and have dinner.
This is where it gets tricky. If you want one sit-down meal a day, pasta, pizza, maybe a glass of wine, plus a bakery breakfast, you are looking at 60 to 80 euros per person, per day.
Per person.
Per person. A simple bowl of pasta in Hvar town can easily be 20 to 25 euros.
And high end, if I want that fresh fish everyone talks about.
Fresh fish, good wine, 150 euros a day per person, easy. And that's being conservative.
Now, there is a specific charge mentioned in the sources that drives tourists crazy, the couvert.
The bread tax?
The bread tax.
This is a classic friction point. You sit down, the waiter brings a basket of bread and maybe some olive oil or fish patty. You didn't order it.
Right, it just appears.
It just appears. You eat a piece because it's there. When the bill comes, you see a charge, couvert, 4 or 5 euros per person.
Per person. Just for bread.
Yes. And tourists get angry, they argue, they say, I didn't order this, but the advice is, do not fight it.
Just accept it.
It is standard practice. It covers the bread, the table setting, the service. Just factor it into the price of the meal mentally before you sit down. It's just how the system works.
Okay, noted. Don't fight the bread tax.
Yeah.
Now, transport. We're island hopping, so we need ferries.
And ferries add up fast. The catamarans, these are the fast passenger boats, not the slow car ferries, cost about 20 to 25 euros per leg.
Per person.
Per person, per leg. So Split to Hvar is 25. Hvar to Korčula is 25. Korčula to Dubrovnik is 25. If you are a family of 4, do the math. You are spending 300 to 400 euros just on ferry tickets for the week.
That's a significant line item.
Yeah.
And that's before you do anything fun. Activities.
Big ticket items. Walking the famous city walls in Dubrovnik. That used to be free, then it was cheap. Now,
How much?
that's 35 euros per person.
Just to walk on the wall.
Just to walk on the wall. A blue cave tour, you're looking at 80 to 100 euros.
So if we sum this all up, what are the daily totals looking like?
For a backpacker in survival mode, you're looking at 70 to 90 euros a day, minimum.
Okay.
For a mid-range couple, you are looking at 350 to 400 euros a day total. That's for accommodation, food, and one activity.
And for luxury?
Oh, start at 800 euros a day and go up from there? Sky's the limit.
That leads to the big question, value. Is the value there for that mid-range traveler? Because if I'm spending 400 euros a day, I can go to a lot of places.
And this is the core of the debate in the sources. The argument is that for the mid-range traveler, the value is borderline.
Borderline.
You are paying premium prices, Paris or Rome prices, but the service can be a bit take it or leave it.
What do you mean by that?
You are paying for the location, the view, and the water. You are not necessarily paying for 5-star hospitality. The waiter might be grumpy. The AC in the apartment might be weak. There is a disconnect between the price and the polish.
Take it or leave it service. That's a good warning. It brings us back to that Balkan infrastructure issue.
Exactly. They have so much demand, they don't always feel the need to go the extra mile.
Let's move to logistics and planning traps. These are the things that will cost you money or sanity if you don't know them.
And there are some very, very specific traps in Croatia.
Trap number 1, the fresh fish scam. I feel like this is a rite of passage. I've heard horror stories.
It is. Here's the scenario. It plays out 1,000 times a night.
Yeah.
You sit down at a nice Canova, which is a tavern. The menu says, fresh sea bass, 60 euros.
Okay, steep, but it's a treat.
You think, okay, 60 euros is expensive, but it's our anniversary or whatever. You order it. The waiter brings the fish out raw on a platter to show you. It looks great. You nod, smiling.
You're excited.
You're excited. They cook it. The bill comes, and it's 120 euros.
What happened? How does it double?
The price on the menu is per kilogram. The fish you nodded at was 1.2 kilograms, but you didn't know that. And the waiter, forgot to tell you.
That is brutal. So what is the fix? How do I avoid being the idiot with the 120 euro fish?
You have to be aggressive. You have to ask for the exact weight and the exact price before they take it to the kitchen.
Like make them weigh it in front of you?
Yes. Ask, how much does this specific fish weigh? And what will the final price be on the bill? If they get shifty or if they say, don't worry about it.
Red flag.
Huge red flag. Just stick to the octopus salad and the black risotto. They're fixed prices and usually delicious.
Okay, good advice. Trap number 2, the car rental mistake. Americans, listen up. We love our cars.
We do. We want to rent a car in Split and drive it to the islands. The expert advice across the board is, do not do this.
I like having my own wheels. Freedom, right?
It's the opposite of freedom, because the car ferries are purgatory. In July, you might wait 3 hours in a line of cars under the baking sun just to get on the boat.
3 hours.
You can't leave the car because the line moves inch by inch. And the ticket for the car is expensive, 40 to 60 euros each way.
And if you miss the ferry...
You wait for the next one. And here's the kicker. Buying a ticket online for a car ferry often doesn't guarantee you a specific departure time on the popular routes.
What?
It just guarantees you passage sometime that day. So it's first come, first served in the car line.
That sounds miserable. So what's the strategy?
Be a foot passenger. Take the fast catamarans companies like Krilo or TP Line. They are quicker, they drop you right in the town center, and they have AC.
And if you need a car on the island...
Rent a scooter or small car there for the day. It's cheaper and way, way less stressful.
Trap number 3, timing in Dubrovnik. This is about crowd management.
Yes. This is crucial. If you try to visit the Dubrovnik city walls at 1:00 p.m. in August, you are making a massive mistake.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the heat. It's 35 degrees Celsius, and the stone reflects the heat back up at you. It's like being in a convection oven. People literally pass out from heat stroke up there.
And the second reason?
The crowds. That is peak time for the cruise ship passengers. You will be walking shoulder to shoulder with 4,000 other people. You can't stop to take a photo. You're just shuffling in a hot, sweaty line.
That sounds like actual hell. What's the fix?
Go at 6:00 p.m. or even 5:05. The cruise ships usually leave around 4:00 p.m. The city empties out remarkably fast.
Oh, interesting.
The temperature drops, the light gets golden for photography, and you get the sunset over the Adriatic. It's a completely different magical experience. You actually feel the history instead of just smelling someone else's sunscreen.
Okay, let's talk about gear. There's one item the host in our source material insists on. Sea shoes.
This is a mandate, a non-negotiable. Do not argue. But they look so goofy.
I know they look goofy. I know you think you have tough feet. You don't. The rocks and urchins of Croatia do not care.
Why are they so essential?
2 things. 1, the sea urchins. They are everywhere in the clean water, which is a good sign. But if you step on one, you are spending your vacation in a clinic getting spines dug out of your heel.
Oh, ouch.
2, the rocks. The limestone is razor sharp. Getting in and out of the water is a balancing act. If you slip, you will get cut. Buy the 10 euro neoprene shoes. Wear them. Look like a dork. Save your feet.
And finally, the golden timing. When should we actually go? If July and August are so crazy, is there a better window?
If you have any flexibility at all, do not go in July or August. The expert advice is September 1st to September 15th.
Why that specific window? Why not later in September or May?
It's the sweet spot. The prices drop by about 20% immediately after August 31st. The crowds drop by 40% because European schools are back in session.
But the water holds its heat from the summer. It's still warm enough to swim all day. If you go in May, the water is freezing. If you go in October, it's getting too cold. Early September is perfect.
Okay, let's talk safety. Segment 5. Safety, comfort, and health. Generally, I've heard Croatia is safe.
In terms of crime, Incredibly safe. Violent crime is basically non-existent.
Really?
You are safer walking alone at 3 a.m. in Split than you are in London or New York at noon. You can leave your phone on the cafe table and go to the bathroom. It will be there when you get back.
That's refreshing.
Hmm.
But safety isn't just about bad guys.
Right. The real risks here are environmental.
Mm.
We talked about the heat, but specifically dehydration and sunstroke. There's a wind called the burra.
The burra.
It's a north wind. It can be strong, and it tricks you. It cools your skin so you don't feel how hot you're getting, but the sun is still cooking you. Drink twice as much water as you think you need.
And the ground itself is a hazard.
The limestone in the old towns has been polished by millions of feet over centuries. It is smoother than marble. Even when it's dry, it's slippery. If it rains, it is an ice skating rink. You need shoes with grip. Flip-flops are a death trap on those stairs. Slips and falls are the #1 injury for tourists.
And the sea looks so calm.
Currents. The channels between islands look calm, but the water moves fast. Do not try to swim from one island to another unless you are a professional swimmer. Just because you can see it doesn't mean you can swim to it.
Are there scams other than the fish thing?
Taxes. It's the universal travel problem, isn't it?
Always.
Yellow cabs have been known to charge 50 euros for a 3-kilometer ride. They see a suitcase, they see an American, and suddenly the meter is broken.
So use Uber.
Yes, Uber is available in the main hubs like Split and Dubrovnik. Use it because the price is fixed in the app. Or, if you have to take a cab, negotiate the price before you get in. Ask how much to the old town. If they say meter, insist on an estimate.
What about accessibility? This is a serious point for travelers with mobility issues.
It's a tough reality, and the sources are very clear on this. Croatia is a nightmare for accessibility.
That's strong.
It is. We're talking about medieval cities. Stairs, cobblestones, narrow alleys, no ramps. If you have mobility issues, this destination requires extreme planning or might just be too physically difficult. Even getting onto the ferries can involve steep ramps and gaps.
And one last comfort tip. Air conditioning. We take it for granted in the U.S.
You not take it for granted there. If you are booking a sob or an apartment, verify AC exists, and specifically verify it is in the bedroom.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Often they will list AC, but it's one weak unit in the living room that doesn't reach the bed. In July, with stone walls retaining heat, that means you aren't sleeping. Read the reviews carefully. Look for mentions of the AC.
Let's get into the emotional side of things. We've talked about the friction, the costs, the scams, but people keep going back. There must be magic there.
Absolutely.
What are the moments that make it worth it? The soul moments.
The sources are full of them. The host describes renting a Passara boat on the island of Korčula.
Tell us about that. What is a Passara?
A Passara is a small, traditional wooden boat with a tiny 5-horsepower engine. It goes about as fast as a brisk walk.
Okay.
And here is the kicker. You don't need a license to rent one.
Really? They just give you the keys?
Pretty much. They show you how to start the engine, they give you a map of the little islands nearby, and they push you off the dock.
That sounds amazing.
The host describes taking one out to the Badija archipelago near Korčula town. You chug along, you drop anchor in a tiny cove where no one else is around. You eat fresh figs you bought at the market. You jump off the boat into that turquoise water. You look back at the medieval walls of the city.
That sounds like the dream. That's the Instagram moment, but real and earned.
It is. It's total freedom. The silence, the water, the history, that is what you're paying for, that moment of autonomy away from the crowds.
And the other high point was surprisingly humble. Breakfast.
The burek, again. Specifically at a bakery called Prirata in Split. It's an institution.
Right.
Going there at 7 a.m. before the cruise ships unload. Getting a fresh cheese burek, hot, greasy, flaky for 2.50 euros.
That's a deal.
And eating it on a bench while the city wakes up, it's proof that value does exist if you live like a local, even for a moment.
But then there are the disappointments. The tourism machine. We have to manage expectation.
We do. And the Blue Cave on the island of Bijabo is the prime example.
It looks so cool in photos.
It's sold as this mystical natural wonder. And physically, it is. The light comes through an underwater opening and turns the whole cave glowing blue.
Sounds amazing. What's the problem?
The experience. It's a factory line. You take a speedboat for an hour. You wait in the sun in another line. You transfer to a tiny boat. They shove you inside the cave for literally 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. The skipper is yelling, no photos, or hurry up. You're bumping into other boats. It feels like an amusement park ride, not a connection with nature.
So skip the Blue Cave.
Unless you are dead set on seeing that specific blue color, yes. Spend that time and money renting your own Pissarra boat instead. You'll have a much better day.
And the nightlife. Advar is famous for it. It's called the Croatian Ibiza.
Itchvar town. The hosts expected chic Riviera vibes. What they got was a frat party. Drunk 20-year-olds vomiting on 500-year-old stone streets. Overpriced, terrible cocktails made with cheap alcohol. Loud, bad music blasting from every bar.
So the advice is, know your demographic.
Exactly. If you are over 30, avoid Etchevar town after 10:00 p.m. It's not for you anymore. Go to Starigrad on the other side of the island.
What's that like?
It's one of the oldest towns in Europe. It's quiet, it's ancient, it's civilized. It has incredible restaurants and wine bars. It's the grown-up version of Shafar.
Okay, we are nearing the end. I want to talk about alternatives.
Yeah.
If this all sounds too expensive or too stressful, if 400 euros a day is just not happening, where else should we look?
The sources suggest two main alternatives that give you a similar vibe. First, Montenegro, specifically the Bay of Kotor.
It's close, right?
Just 90 minutes south of Dubrovnik. You can drive there. It has the same Venetian architecture, similar walled cities, and these incredible mountains falling right into the sea. It is spectacular.
They're the price.
It's slightly cheaper, maybe 20% to 30%. The euro is the currency there too, but the cost of living is lower. The trade-off is the water. It's a bay, not the open sea, so it's not quite as crystal clear as the Croatian islands, but it's stunning.
And the budget option. The real cheap alternative.
Albania, the Albanian Riviera, places like Samil and Saranda. This is the true budget alternative.
How cheap are we talking?
You can find apartments for 40 euros and huge meals for 10 euros. The water is just as turquoise as Croatia. It's the same coast, just further south.
There's always a but.
The infrastructure is chaotic. Trash management is a serious issue. You will see garbage on the side of the road. Driving is wild. The rule of the road is good luck. It lacks that Venetian polish and deep history that Croatia has. It feels a bit more like the Wild West. But if you just want the water without the price tag, that's where you go.
There's also a combo move suggested in research.
Right. This is for people who want a taste of it all. Do 3 days in Dubrovnik to see the big sights, the walls, the Game of Thrones locations, then cross the border.
Where to?
Go to Mostar in Bosnia for a day. Amazing food. Totally different culture, very cheap. Then head down to Montenegro for a few days. You get the highlight reel of Croatia without spending a full week paying those Croatian prices.
I like that strategy. It feels like a real adventure. Okay, let's do the verdict matrix. Is the Adriatic Odyssey worth it? We're going to break this down by traveler type.
Let's do it. Let's start with the backpacker. Budget under 70 euros a day.
What's the verdict?
Verdict is NO, not in high season. You will be miserable. You'll be counting every penny. You won't be able to afford the boat trips or the tours, which are the whole point of going. You'll be eating supermarket bread in a hot hostel.
So where should they go?
Go to Albania or come to Croatia in late October.
Mid-range couple. Budget 300 to 400 euros a day.
Verdict is yes, with conditions. You have to book your ferries early. Stay in sobs, not hotels. And avoid Ajvar town stay in the quieter towns like Starigrad or Jelsa. You have to curate your trip to find the value. You can't just show up and expect it to be easy. Verdict is yes, but pick a base. Do not try to island hop every 2 days with kids and luggage. It's a logistical nightmare.
So what's the move?
Pick one island as is great for families, or maybe the north side of Corčula, and stay there for the week. Rent a car on the island. And remember, no sand castles. Prepare the kids for rocks. Buy them the shoes.
And finally, the luxury traveler. Unlimited budget.
Verdict is absolutely. This country is built for you now. If you can afford to charter a boat with a skipper, you avoid the ferry lines, you avoid the crowds, you access the empty bays that the land-based tourists can't reach. You get the best version of Croatia.
So to get a playground for the rich.
In many ways, yes, that's the direction it's headed.
So bringing it all home, what's the final summary?
Croatia is spectacular. The natural beauty is undeniable. That water really is that blue. But the era of the easy, cheap Croatian holiday is over.
Gone.
It now requires what I call military-grade planning to beat the crowds and the costs. You have to be a strategist. You need spreadsheets.
But the payoff, is it worth the planning?
The payoff is that scent. Pine, salt, diesel, grilled fish. When you are sitting there at sunset, looking at water that is clearer than gin, holding a glass of local wine, yeah, the headache is worth it.
Just bring your sea shoes.
And your wallet, a big one.
And that leads us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on. We talked about jaka, the art of doing nothing. I want you to ask yourself this. Is jaka actually possible for a modern tourist?
Hmm.
Or does the price tag force you to hustle? When you are spending 400 euros a day, can you afford to just sit there and do nothing? Or do you feel that internal pressure to run around, see every sight, and get your money's worth?
That is the paradox of modern luxury travel, isn't it? We pay a fortune to relax, and the cost itself makes us stressed.
Something to think about while you're stuck in that ferry line. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Safe travels, and watch out for the urchins.